Hi, Omega Chaos here again with another real life deck profile, and this time I'm showing my Firewall Code Talker deck. So I have been working on this deck for a while with new support from Cyberstorm Access. It's now a lot better than it was previously. It's now actually playable in tournaments. It has some really nice 2-card or even 1-card combos that can end you with a lot of interruptions and negates, and it's really fun to play as well. So I guess let's go a stack. So first is one Cyber Sage. This card pretty much makes the whole deck work because it's a ritual monster, it's a tuner, and also it can, with its effect, you can fuse someone using materials from the graveyard. So it can get you Synchro and Fusion Monster, as well as potentially Xyz as well with the Fusion, but most of the time it's not necessary. But this card is extremely important, of course. You need to get access to this card as well as Silent Ritual, and of course there's an easy way to do it as well with Cyber Switch. Then I use one Code Exporter. It's a pretty good extender for this deck, and it's also of course a Wind Cybers monster you can search with Silent Codec. And then one Code Generator, not an important extender for this deck. Earth Cybers you can search with Sonic Codec, and of course you can also send a Cybers monster with 1200 or less attack to the graveyard, which most of the time it's going to be your Dot Scraper. Then triple Maya Coder, which is the most important extender for this deck because it's of course able to search your silent spell traps, especially your Silent Codec, which is the most important spell card in the deck. So with this card, if you get access to this card and at least 2 more bodies, that's a full combo pretty much. Then the Firewall cards that are new from the Cyberstorm Access set. One Firewall Phantom, another way to search out your silent spells and trap cards, so that's definitely really good. And one Firewall Defensor as well, which can spell summon your Firewall monster on the deck. Of course, your only turret right now is Firewall Phantom. Then one Kachiri Antagonista. The main reason I use this because it's an Earth Cybers, I can search out with Silent Codec, but the main reason is that it's has 0 attack, which means I can banish my hand traps for small word, then banish this from the deck to search out any of my Cybers monsters, more or less. Then 2 Parallel Exceed. It's a Wind Cybers monster, and it's a really good card as well to of course make your Xyz monsters, and only run 2 because you don't need 3 in this deck because it's so easily searchable with your Sonic Codec. Then one of the main starter cards in this deck is triple Ladybug. So you search out your my coder, which is a really important card, and it definitely is a very nice card in this deck overall. Then I use a small Mahmek engine as well, because it's kind of extra extenders and helps you to play through hand traps as well. So I use one Mahmek Circular, of course, because of course it was recently limited to 1 for a pretty good reason, because this card does so much, of course, for this deck as well as the pure Mahmek deck. So definitely it's of course really amazing. Then around one Mahmek Sigma to go along with your Mahmek Circular. Of course on its own it's still a pretty good extender as well, but you can summon it from the hand or grave if you have no monsters in the extra monster zone. Then one Mahmek Edition, which is a pretty good Cybers extender that is also searchable with Silent Codec as well. And as well as Mahmek Subtraction, which is pretty much the same as Addition, as of course this monster can reduce attack instead of gaining attack. Then I use one Cybers Converter, with a light Cybers that's a really good extender, as well as being really important Synchro material with Cyber Search going to your level 3 Cyber Synchro. And one Dot Scaper, because it's really good, because it can summon itself if it's sent to the graveyard. So of course you use it of course with Code Generator, of course. Then some of the hand traps, because you do need hand traps because this deck is pretty bad going second, so you're gonna need those, and of course all the hand traps in this deck are mostly with 0 attack points, which means you can banish them for small world to get to search for your Cybers monsters. So use triple, Ash Blossom and Jawspring, of course. Of course it's really good against almost any deck, and of course mainly against, of course, Branded. Then I use triple, Ghost Mauler and Moonlit Chill, which are a pretty good monster negate. So a pretty decent card. It's not the best hunter, but it's definitely good for this because of course it has that 0 attack. And then of course triple effect Wailer as well. Of course you might wonder why I'm not using a permanence instead of this, but again it has 0 attack. It pretty much is a trap card, so I can't banish impermanence for small world. Then the spells and traps. One Silent Ritual, of course. So of course it's really important to ritual summon your Cyber Sage. You can get your materials to the graveyard for Dark Fluid and Singularity. Then I use one Silent Kodak, which is the most important spell card in the deck. I would run more than one, but I don't really have space, and of course this card is easily searchable with your Mega Coder and even your Firewall Phantom as well. Then I use triple Silent Mining for consistency, of course. Very nice. Obviously it is kind of weak to Ash, but you just need it. Then I use triple Small World. Don't need opponent consistency cards, of course. That's of course really good. Of course that's why of course use all those 0 attack hand traps. Then use one Mahmak Equation. Of course a very important card for this deck because of course you need the spell card in your graveyard for Cyber's Reach. That's one of the main reasons why I actually use Mahmak Engine in this deck. So I always have access to a spell card to be able to use with Cyber's Reach, more or less. Then one Cobra Grave, always still pretty important to stop your blind hand traps. And then one Silent Conflict. Of course it's really good. Obviously you can search it out with your Mega Coder and Firewall Phantom. Of course it's really important, which just negates anything and also banishes it, and also they can't activate any other copies of that card. And of course really important, of course, against Darkroom and No More as well. Now let's see the next deck. Of course I used that one Firewall Dragon Singularity. That of course is really good. You can just bounce your opponent's cards depending on a number of different type of monsters you have in your graveyard, like Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and Ritual. Definitely really good, and also it's important for your combos as well because you can revive the Cyber's monster from the graveyard as well if anything linked to it is sent to the graveyard or destroy a battle. Then one Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid, which pretty much the main boss monster of this deck, which can counters depending on the number of different Cybers monsters you have in your graveyard. Again, Fusion, Synchro, Ritual, Xyz. And of course most of them are going to have 4 counters, so it's pretty much 4 negates on its own. And also it will have huge attack in battle phase as well, depending on the number of counters, so it can auto-KO your opponent pretty easily as well. Then I use one of the regular Firewall Dragon. Pretty decent, I would say. It's probably one of the last interruptions you have on your board, but it's not completely necessary for this deck. Then I use one Protect Code Talker, because it's a way to protect your Firewall monster from being targeted and from being destroyed by battle. And also you can revive from graveyard as well by banishing link monsters that equal a link rating 3. Definitely really good card for this deck. Then one Code Talker Heat Soul. Still pretty good. It's kind of your plan B, I guess, if your combo goes wrong. You're gonna go into this, try to throw into something or your hand traps and just play it a little bit of a control game, but it's definitely not preferable. Then use one Code Talker, obviously very important for your Cyber's combos, very good. Then one Code Talker, your Wind Code Talker monster, definitely really important for this deck as well. Then one Code Talker, pretty much a 2 material Code Talker. Then I use one Code Talker Inverted, a light Code Talker monster, and also I can summon Cyber's monster from the hand to the zone this card points to. Then another really important link monster is one Cyber Switch. If you spell someone to discard link zones, you can place a spell card from the graveyard to add a Cyber Switch monster as well as a ritual from the deck to your hand. Obviously, you can't use this card if you don't have both of those targets in your deck, so that's kind of unfortunate. But if you use this effect, you can also revive a level 4 lower Cybers from the graveyard as well. That's definitely really important for this deck. Then there's one Splash Mage, pretty decent I would say, can be important for your 1-card combos for example, as well as later in the combo as well, and of course being like giving you the ability to go for like Heat Soul as well, if you don't really have anything else. Then there's one Link Kuribo, pretty decent of course, you just need a Link 1 to go to get your combo going, if you're 1-card combo for example, or you can even like extra link your opponent with this as well, although it's kind of like a fake extra link because it's still going to have like one link zone open because of Dark Void, but it's still pretty decent I would say. Then the other types of Cybers monsters. Then I use one Cybers Worm. It's pretty good because you can summon a Cybers monster from the hand, as well as this monster's level can become the level of that monster, and also it's a negate from the graveyard, a spell trap negate from the graveyard, if you control a Firewall monster. Then I use one Cybers Integrator, pretty good, a Synchro monster because it's level 3. I can use a Cyber Sage and Cybers Converter to go into this card, and then I can revive the Cyber Sage from the graveyard with this card. Then I can get a draw as well if it's sent to the graveyard. And then the last card in the next deck is one Prime Mathmech Alan version, because it's a really good Cyber Succeed monster that can automate access the Mathmech engine as well. So now let's do the main combo for this deck. So pretty much you need a coder and then the debug, maybe circle as well. Basically you just need access to my coder, and then the debug can get you to any extender, or you just need debug and any other extender. But right now just debug, and you just can normal summon it. Then search for any extender. This one I think the best pick. I think it can be actually Cyber Converter, because you can actually revive it with Cyber Switch more or less. And then you're going to link into your Code Talker. Like the Markwords effect and search for your Sonic codec. Activate it, and then press one Cybers Converter, and then you link with these to go into Code Talker. Then activate Sound codec, and you can search for your Earth Cyber, which is going to be Code Generator. Then you're going to activate Code Talker and revive your Code Talker. Then you can quote your Code Generator from the hand, then link with these two. Into Code Talker. So codec effect again, and then chaining 2 is going to be Code Generator. And can you activate Xcode as chaining 3 as well if you want to, but it's not really that relevant. Let's go to the graveyard and then search for, with the Cyber codec, going to search for Parallel Seed. Then got someone Totsker from the graveyard because it's all sent there. Then you're going to link into your Cyber Switch. Then going to activate parallel exceed the link zone. Then with parallel exceed you can summon another one. Going to exceed zone. To prime FML on version, activate effect. To search for your map application, because of course you need it for cyber switch effect. In your hand, you go link 4. Link 4 into your Firewall Dragon. Then going to activate your map application, reviving your on version back. Then this will send it to the graveyard and activate cyber switch effect, banish it to search for your Cyber Sage and Sound Ritual. Of course, for this combo you still need a ritual tribute. So what you can do, you can activate Firewall Dragon's effect, because it's calling to cyber switch. Get back anything you want, but leave debug. And it's also this other effect you can derive your Cyber's converter. Then going to activate Sound Ritual, tribute the monster, then summon your Cyber Sage. Then allows you to sync summon into Cyber's Integrator. Okay, chaining crunching 2. Cyber Sage allows you to get you back to a Cyber's monster or a ritual spell. Get Lady Debug back, and then if Cyber's Integrator can summon back Cyber Sage. You can use Cyber Sage effect to fusion summon. You can use someone into the Cyber's Teaser Worm. Then going to link into the Code Talker inverted. Then activate our codec, search for any light cybers. Doesn't really matter. Which one in this case, just going for circular. Then you link into your Protect Code Talker, you can activate codex effect again. And also you get an extra draw with integrator as well, so you get a blank card, I guess, as well. But it's not really that relevant. Search for Firewall Defender. Then you can use our Disarray effect to summon it from the hand. You don't really need to change the level. It doesn't really matter because you're not going to exist one, because you already made an exist this turn. Then you can link someone into your link 6 with Protect Code Defender and Cyber Switch. Firewall Dragon Singularity. Then activate defensive effect. You can summon your Firewall monster, Firewall Phantom. Then I'm going to link into I link it to the splash page. Then activate the contacts effect, the phantoms effect, searching for side conflict, discarding any card. Obviously it drew into a card anyway, but let's just discard that. Then we can use the splash page effect to drive anything, so it doesn't matter which one. Then we link 3. Then you go to card Heat Soul. I can Kodak click again, can give a Fire of Cybers, and it's going to be like addition. Then you can activate the draw a blank card as well. Again, it doesn't really matter much. You can use Circles effect. Get Sigma. Then summon it. Then you can go for Dark Fluid, because I don't really need this Firewall anymore. So Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid. You can Genic 1, then Genic 2 Singularity. So with Singularity, you're going to bring back your Firewall Dragon. Don't really matter which zone really. And then you get the 4 counters, because you have all of those monsters in the graveyard. All of the types. Yep. And then the last thing you can do, one of the last things I think, increase the card's attack to sum it, and then you can link 1 into link Kuribo, because it's extra link. It's basically a V-link, basically. And then last thing you can do, you banish Heat Soul. Summon back Protect Code Talker. This call link to Firewall Dragon. Then you can of course set aside conflict, more or less. And then you have 2 random cards as well, you got from your combo. So what you have in this board, you have 4 monster engaged with Dark Fluid. You have 4 bounces, pretty much you bounce 4 cards at once, potential up to 4. You have also 2 bounces from Firewall Dragon, 2 monster bounces, because you have calling to Protect Code and Singularity. Then you have a spell Dragon Agate from the graveyard. You Cyberstorm a Worm, and you have an Omni Negate with Summer Conflict. It's of course really good as well. And of course, kind of an extra link with Link Kuribo, and also it's good against E-value matches, for example, or impermanence as well. So definitely a really good board. It's 8 interruptions with kind of an extra link as well. So this was pretty much the main combo. It's a really fun deck to play. Of course, with this combo, you will have no follow-up at all, because you have used all of your X deck. But this combo should be enough in most cases if you go first. And of course, in going second, if you can of course OTK with Dark Fluid as well. So this definitely is one of the most fun decks I've ever played. So I hope you enjoyed this real life deck profile. For now, goodbye and on my out.